All right, y'all. Peace. This is Brother 93 coming at y'all with another presentation. We're going to be dealing with part 2 of the 115 towns of WHYDAH and Richard Burton. And we're going to go a little deeper on this subject and basically just go through the claim made by Hebrew Israelites that Richard Burton's source and mention of 115 towns of Judah in his book is in reference to the literal tribe of Judah of the Bible, and that proves that the area known as WHYDAH in West Africa, or Judah or Judah by the French, is in reference to the actual tribe of Judah of the Bible. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get into this. So peace, y'all. We're going to be dealing with part 2, and we're going to be dealing with the 115 towns of Judah and Richard Burton. So we're going to start by basically going to this comment posted on one of Dante Fortson's, I believe it was one of his community tabs a while ago. It was referenced in Faithful to God's first video, part 1, 115 villages of WHYDAH debunked, right? And you see this brother right here. He say, they want us to believe the French, British, and Portuguese was so illiterate that they couldn't identify the differences in the meaning of the words WHYDAH and Judah. If that is their claim, then they have to explain why a master linguist like Sir Francis Richard Burton, the Queen of England at that time personal language tutor, and an explorer, a man who spoke 20 different languages, including West African languages, stated clearly that he personally explored 115 towns in the country of WHYDAH that belonged to the tribe of Judah. He didn't say a Judah, or Judah. He clearly stated Judah. He wrote that in the 1800s in his book, A Mission to Galilei, King of Dahomey by Richard Francis Burton. Sir Francis Burton wasn't claiming WHYDAH means Judah. He was claiming certain provinces of the country of WHYDAH was owned by the tribe of Judah, 115 towns to be exact. And again, let me reiterate that the brother said that Burton stated clearly that he personally explored 115 towns in the country of WHYDAH that belonged to the tribe of Judah. That's what he's saying. So I'm going to give y'all a refresher. This is Faithful to God's slide, right? And I just wrote this here. WHYDAH and the tribe of Judah, 115 towns, refresher, faithful slides. We see, I believe, on the Bowen map, WHYDAH on a map in Africa. See WHYDAH here, you see the E? That should be in reference to the English, I believe. The English was using WHYDAH. Judah has F, so that means the French. The French in particular use Juda, and a lot of French authors made the claim or assertion that the inhabitants were Jews. I have not seen a full detail as to why they say this or how they came to the conclusion. So we'll be accepting information or looking for information on that. But we see which European nations call this area by which name. English say WHYDAH, French is Judah, E-F. So now we're going to go here to Burton's book, A Mission to Galilei, King of Dahomey, Volume 1, right? Page 191 in this particular version of the book. And it's from 1864. The first thing I want y'all to notice at the top right here is it says the march to Akbame. Akbame. We're going to see where this is, right? So page 191. We'll start here. The land around is called Leflafon. Pay attention to that. The land around is called Leflafon, from the Nago people whose chief Chade was slain by King Gezo and who were finally settled there. The eyes dwell with delight upon the numerous country villages, like 115 towns of the tribe of Judah, and upon the thin forests, right? So let me read that again. The land around is called Leflafon, and it talks about the Nago people and their chief being slain by Gezo, right? The eyes dwell with delight upon the numerous, they have a lot of country villages, like the 115 towns of the tribe of Judah. Seems to be making a comparison here to 115 towns that the actual tribe of Judah had, to wherever this place is here, Leflafon, right? And we see the top says march to Akbami, right? So right here, what I wrote, One result for the biblical Judah with an H, or I believe Juda period, right? Also notice the mention of Akbame. Go right here. The phrase or even word Judah in tribe of Judah is mentioned only once in this source. WHYDAH, the literal region in Benin, however, is mentioned over 100 times in this text. The source says, like the 115 towns. It's making a comparison of the numerous villages of WHYDAH with the conquered towns of ancient Judah, not saying that Judah is WHYDAH here, right? And we're going to go further into that. But point I'm making is this is the only time you see Judah, the biblical Judah, especially Judah spelled with an H, mentioned in this book. But we're going to see here that WHYDAH, talking about the actual region, is mentioned 100 times in this book, meaning Burton is referring to Africa, or the region in Africa called WHYDAH, frequent. And Judah is mentioned one time. It says showing one result in this book. So that should make you scratch your head. So what do I mean when I say this is referencing the Bible, right? The conquered towns. So we have this source, the Wesleyan Methodist Magazine, 1822, page 710, right? Faithful went over this. And right here says the number of ancient cities in the time of Joshua, when Canaan was divided among the Israelites, there was a great number of fortified cities. The tribe of Judah, biblical Judah, alone had 115 besides villages. And down here it says Joshua, was it 15 and 21, I believe. So we're going to get to that. There's another source, The Message of Joel, Micah, and Habakkuk by David Pryor, 1999, page 158, right? Right here says, list of place names in Judah when Joshua divided the land. Footnote 27. When we realized that 115 towns and cities were named with their villages. Footnote here has Joshua 15 and 20 to 63 in the Bible. So apparently Burton is looking at the numerous country villages in wherever this land is. We're going to look for it, right? Leflafon. And the top is saying march to Akbami, right? The numerous country villages are being compared to the 115 towns of the biblical Judah, seemingly because of how numerous they are. They have a lot, right? And this is Joshua 15, 20 to 63 in the KJV. Now, I'm not going to read all of this because if it is 115 towns, that's a lot of reading right here. But y'all can go to the Bible. Y'all can count all these towns. This is referring to the biblical narrative in the time of Joshua. He is not saying that this area, which we need to find out if this is even WHYDAH that he's at. He's not saying that this is literally controlled by the tribe of Judah here. And we're going to see why. Furthermore, if we go to this source, the same book, A Mission to Galilee, volume 1, pages 268 and 180, we see how he feels about these people in this area. So in the 1720s, the kingdom of Dahomey conquered WHYDAH, basically. Same, it's still in proximity to Dahomey, but these specific people went and took them over, right? And we see how Burton refers to these people, right? At the Dahomean court, curious to say, in Africa, women take precedence of men, yet with truly Hamitic contradictionists, the warrioresses say, we are no longer female but males. He's calling the people basically that hold this region Hamitic. He's calling the transatlantic slave trade, the Middle Passage, the Hamitic form of transportation. He's looking at these people as Hamites. He's not recognizing these people as Semites. So if he's saying the people that inhabit this region, especially during the time he's there in the 1800s, it would have been conquered by the people of Dahomey, right? So you'd have had the people that were probably formerly there in WHYDAH, basically a similar ethnic group, and you would have had the people who are in the kingdom of Dahomey, basically still there. Burton calling them Hamites. So let's go further. WHYDAH or Abomi? Because when we go here, we see up here, they're referring to basically this chapter referring to Agbomi, the march to Agbomi. So WHYDAH or Abomi, where is this taking place? So, and we see in the book, chapter 10, where this is taking place, the march to Agbomi. The chapter is titled March to Agbomi or Abomi, right? And this is page 276. This is the beginning of the chapter, right? So when we go to same book, page 160, right? Mission to Galele, King of Dahomey, Volume 1 by Francis Burton. We're going to see that Agbomi and Abomi are used interchangeably. If anybody's doubting the word Agbomi and Abomi. So on page 160, we see Uhawe, or less correctly, Hawowi, and excuse me if I'm messing up any of these words, between Kana and Agbomi, where the Adanwe Palace was afterwards built. Hence, the history tells us that, quote unquote, the original capital of Dahomey was Dahwi, between the towns of Kalmina, Kana, and Abomi. So we see the same, basically the same names right here. Kana and Agbomi. Then we see Kalmina or Kana and Abomi. It's the same place. So when we see up here, let me go back where it says March to Agbomi, it's basically talking about Abomi. And we're going to see what Abomi is, and is that WHYDAH? Is that even talking about WHYDAH in the first place? So we see that that's used interchangeably. And we're going to go to page, and this is an alternative version of the same book, basically. Same book, but it's page 286, right? So we're going to go back. The land around is called Leflafon, right? The eye dwells with delight upon the numerous country villages, like the 115 towns of the tribe of Judah, and upon the thin forests, right? So the author is in the land of Leflafon, or based on the footnote alternatively called Lefel-Fu, as referenced in page 68 of Forbes's book. So down here, when you see Leflafon up here, you'll see like this little footnote thing across, and it says the Lefel-Fu of Commander Forbes, Volume 1, page 68. So I have to see, what are they talking about in Forbes' source, Volume 1, page 68. So let me show y'all a map. Abome and WHYDAH showed separately on a map reflecting Burton's time, 19th century. See this map? And I'm going to pull up a picture of it so y'all can look at it better, right? What does it say? Approximate greatest territory extent of Dahomey, 19th century. That's the 1800s. Dahomey Kingdom, right? So we see Abomi, WHYDAH, two different places. Leflafon is near Abomi, right? It's near Abomi. So if he's there comparing villages, he's not even in WHYDAH, apparently, right? It's another map. Abomi and WHYDAH showed separately on a map. See, you see WHYDAH down here. See Abomi right here, right? This is all in Benin, modern day Benin. So when you go to Google Earth and you just put in Abomi and WHYDAH, you know, to see the distance, you see Abomi up here. See WHYDAH all the way down here. You see the distance between the two. And I might not have done this perfectly, but it's about 86.4 kilometers in distances. And over here, put in how many miles in 86.4 kilometers equals about 53.6 something miles. So no, this ain't the same place. Give or take some miles, WHYDAH and Abomi are not the same place. So if he's talking about this taking place in the village near Abomi, So if he's talking about this happening in a village near Abomi, then this is not WHYDAH that he's actually making a comparison to. So he's talking about a place some 50 something miles away from WHYDAH. So moving on. The chapter is March to Agbomi. See, Agbomi and Abomi is interchangeable. We see the land is called Lephlapham, right? The eyes dwell with delight upon the numerous country villages like the 115 towns of the tribe of Judah. So the comparison of the towns and villages to the biblical narrative may not even be in WHYDAH. Actually, I'm quite certain, I'm just being respectful and nice, this is happening in Abomey. Abomey and WHYDAH, two different places on the map. Miles away. About some 50 miles away, right? So let's keep going. Another reason not to basically count on Burton as making your assertion for Hebrew Israelites that WHYDAH or even Abomey is talking about the literal tribe of Judah, we're going to see his views on Black Jews, and could he even be used to make that point? So we go to Tudor Parfit's Hybrid Hate, the introduction page, and we see right off the bat he has all these quotes from people, and we got Sir Richard Francis Burton right here saying, I do not believe in a pure Black Jew. So he doesn't believe in pure Black Jews. He was calling them Hamites in another source. Why would he be asserting that WHYDAH, the people of WHYDAH, would have been Jews? Why would he be a testimony to say that? He would have been talking against them. We're going to see Hybrid Hate, page 130. The following year, as confirmed by Polygenists, Burton rebuffed Waits's view on Black Jews and their importance for the origin of mankind debate. In the Anthropological Review, he penned an article entitled Notes on Waits's Anthropology. Burton naturally knew all too well the importance of Black Jews for the monogenist argument and was therefore obliged to categorically deny their existence. I do not believe in a pure Black Jew. This is one of his books, 1864, page 235. So we go there, we go to the Anthropological Review that he wrote, right? See Burton's name here, Notes on Waits's Anthropology. Go here, page 235 here, he says it. I do not believe in a pure Black Jew, right? And he's hit further down, he's talking about Yemenis and he's talking about other cases. He doesn't believe in that. Hybrid Hate, page 131, right? This is in reference to Burton, right? This is a quote. The other families in Africa, he wrote, are the Falashas or Black Jews of Abyssinia, mere proselytes like those of Malabar and elsewhere. How do we know he said that? Let's go to that text. The Jew, the Gypsy, and El Islam by Richard Francis Burton. This is a posthumous release after his death, I believe. Right? We're going to go to page 4. Page 4, the Jew. We're going to see down here the two great centers of Jewish populations. Talk about northern part of Africa between Morocco and Egypt. And let's go down here where he actually says it. The other families in Africa are the Falashas, or Black Jews of Abyssinia, mere proselytes like those of Malabar, and a few Europeans at the Cape of Good Hope. So Burton thinks Falashas and Malabar, Black Jews, are not authentic Jews. How could he be used to authenticate the Black people of WHYDAH as the literal tribe of Judah? So even if he was in WHYDAH, he doesn't believe that. He wouldn't be saying any of that you all are saying. You guys seen the word Judah with an H at the end, and you assume that he was in WHYDAH, and you thought he was saying the same thing that you all were saying. You all made a mistake. And that's okay to make a mistake, but it's incorrect and it's not right. So Francis Burton most certainly can't be used as a witness to you guys' claims. For one, the reference is to the literal Bible. He's looking at the numerous villages and saying, hey, there's a lot of these, just like the cities that Joshua had during his time, 115 towns, right? Then it looks like he's not even in WHYDAH. Looks like he's in Abomey, based on the information, based on his text, based on what he's saying. Then finally, we find out that he would not even be saying that because he doesn't even believe in pure Black Jews. He wouldn't even be believing that. In conclusion, the comparison of villages in Dahomey to Judah occurs once and is in reference to Joshua in the Bible. The setting of said quote may not even be in WHYDAH all alone at all. Burton made statements indicating that he could not be endorsing Hebrew Israelite claims about WHYDAH, considering he views the people as Hamites and denies the existence of pure black Jews. So that's in conclusion. So I hope this has edified the people. I hope y'all learned something, and perhaps we can do away with this specific argument. I'm pretty sure they still maintain WHYDAH and Judah having a connection because of the name that the French gave to it. But as far as using Richard Burton as a source, that's dead. So peace and love, family, and till next time.